morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses, presented by Saratoga Springwater. Day number 31 here in Saratoga. Acacia Clement, Andy Serling, on a quiet day starting because that's very quiet, right?
It is quiet. It's a
Military
little bit
Appreciation
cooler.
Day, too,
It's a little bit cooler today, but it's actually still pretty comfortable. But it's kind of one of those things when you're like, the summer's coming to an end. The cool weather's coming in. We've got 2 weeks left of the meet. It kind of reminds you got to enjoy it while it lasts.
Are you trying to make me depressed?
No,
Is
I'm saying you have to enjoy it while it
yes,
lasts.
we do. I agree.
Yeah.
The amazing thing about the weather is it was hot in the beginning. It's been cool every day. I mean, nights have been
It's been cool
cold.
in the mornings, too, you know.
Well, you get up in the morning.
I get up earlier than
hot
you,
yoga
too.
And the bar
yeah,
and everything.
went to hot yoga this morning.
Keisha's had a full day, actually, by the time I get out of bed every day.
That's true.
Anyhow, Military Appreciation Day today. Really happy and happy to have people joining us. Yeah. We have some good stuff going on throughout the day along with that as well. We were talking about on the call today. It was actually
very,
cool.
very special day. We appreciate all those who have sacrificed for our country and served, and really wonderful to have an opportunity to highlight that today.
Yeah, so looking forward to those events as well. You need to head over to NYRA Bets if you're not a member. Use the promo code SPOT200, and we'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. Play through NYRA Bets. Keep the money in the game. Middle pick 4, 2, 4, and 7 on our 10-race card today. We also have the $7,500 hit and split every Thursday. Sarah's last try, Del Mar's first try. Good last race today. It's nice to have a couple days in a row without being off the turf and being fast and firm. I agree. A very interesting maiden race. Mile and 3/16 as well. You want to opt in for that and play. Opportunity to pick up some extra money on both the try here and the first at Del Mar. Glad to see they're back in action. They had to cancel Sunday because of the hurricane. They did not get the worst of it, which is good news. They got a lot of rain, but they did not get the worst of it, which we're happy to hear. We have the low roller contest, $40 buy-in, $30 the bankroll, $10 towards the prize pool. Go see Ray and Jay outside the Miller Time 4-Star Dave Sports Bar. A lot of fun. On track only every Thursday and Saturday. Only 4 of them left. Don't miss out on the low roller contests. We have the Saratoga contest. You have a $300 buy-in. You have till 5 o'clock tomorrow to sign up for this. That'll be the Travers Day Saratoga contest, playing it online only. Head over to NYRA.com/contest to register. 5 o'clock tomorrow. You have till 5 o'clock today to sign up for the $40 feed-in to get yourself eligible for that contest without paying the whole $300. That's 5 o'clock today. Once again, NYRA.com/contests. We have Travers 2-day pick 6. So all the grade 1s. Personal Ensign Friday, and then the 5 grade 1s on Saturday. So 1 on Friday and 5 on Saturday. I'm actually finished with all of my Travers Day picks.
Well done, you.
Yeah, thank you.
Really fun card.
Yeah, no, it is.
Really exciting Travers race.
Absolutely. These are wide open. That race is wide open. Ballerina. See if they can handle Echo Zulu in there, and that Alan Jerkins is really an absolute war. We have Taste of New York Pavilion, Thursday through Sunday, located near Gate A in the Berkshire Bank Family Zone. And last but not least, 1 to 6:30 on FS2. All the action today on Saratoga Live. Race numero uno. One thing I know about this race, as we show a replay of Cause I'm Elegant and Strange Fruit finishing 2-4, I want to say last time out, you see these horses as horses that have, I would say, form in this race, and it's hard not to say, I want a new face.
Yep. Yeah, especially because both of the horses that we're looking at in this race, this was a dirt sprint, and they've been primarily sprinters, and we're going to see them stretch out in distance. The thing with Strange Fruit in particular, too, she was 3 wide in that race. I thought kind of ran in place, but she is a bit of a leggier type. It's just that she's really difficult before the race. She tends to expend a lot of energy before her race even begins and can be a little bit tricky in the paddock beforehand. 'Cause I'm Elegant, I have in my notes small, I like shorter, and she ran fine last time, but stretching out I think will be a little bit of a tough ask for her, so that's why I took the class dropper.
Strange Fruit, by the way, I just looking at the pedigree, has a wild pedigree. It's a Tufflesburg. You don't see too many Tufflesburgs. Breeders' Cup Sprint winner. He was second in the Hopeful, actually, at 48-1, I think. And Harlem Rocker is the dam sire.
Yeah.
You don't see his name too much. Harlem Rocker was taken down the Cigar Mile, and they put up Barclay Tagg's horse, Talvacati.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Nice
We've both gone to Shotgun Patsy. Have at it.
Yep, she didn't do much running last time. She was up close chasing, kind of drifted out, falling back in the stretch. But Ichiban, the winner, came back to win again, albeit with a lower buyer speed
Albeit
figure the next
unimpressively.
time. But to be fair, April Antics, who she beat, did come back and win
She did?
yesterday at a better distance.
She deserved to win.
Yes, she did after that tough defeat. But the thing about Shotgun Patsy, she's just a new face. She's dropping in class. She's already run the 7. I don't mind her going a mile. The class drop more than anything for me.
Bill Mott's actually 15 for 40 maiden special weight to maiden claimers in the dirt over the last 5 years. 38%. That's a lofty price. $1.85 ROI, but he wins with a lot of these. And I agree. There's just limited number of places to go. You could also go to Altarina, who I have second. You don't have her in there at all. I don't know if she can run much, but she ran in a terrible field. I thought she did a little bit of running in the turf, but I just put her second because Mark Hennig's been doing so well.
He has been. I thought the 7 Go Susan Go was at least a new face. She was sluggish in that debut at Finger Lakes. She's by Tonalist. There is some pedigree to go along on the bottom side as well. She's in against New York breds and dropping in class for the first time. Again, just a new face.
I wish I had seen her do a little more running than she did in that race, and she did.
She was very green.
I didn't think
in
she
that
broke
race,
slowly as much as she just sort of dropped out of the race
she was
after
just
the break.
sluggish, yeah.
And I also, my question for the Matisses is, and I assume Himatake is still riding, is why weren't they wearing those purple silks up at Finger Lakes? When I first watched the race, because they're known for those purple silks, I just assumed that it was a private purchase since then. But then I saw it was they bred the horse, and obviously they did have the horse last time. But
Maybe
I
the silk
didn't see
shouldn't
the
make it up
signature
there?
purples. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
an
know.
important question.
I didn't notice that.
Maybe Duke will text me and let me know. Inquiring minds need to know.
That's right.
I like to focus on the important things, Keisha.
Very good.
Purple is extremely important to me. Race number.
You're wearing purple today.
I know. I'm as I said.
Fair enough.
Well, I'm
Favorite color?
Are you-
Purple?
purple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to the BCCA dinner tonight?
Unfortunately not. Can't make it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a great event.
But they are wonderful. I
yeah.
am a big fan of the BCCA and Joanne Adams and Libby Imperio and all the work
Who
that
doesn't
everybody
love Joanne?
does. Oh, she's amazing.
She's my favorite.
Really.
BCCA, the Belmont Child Care Association, of course, Anna House and Face House up here. They have their annual benefit tonight. It's always a fun night.
Yeah.
It's a very, very worthy cause, and I feel truly honored that they ask me to host it every year.
Yes,
It is. It's
very
one of the
good.
things I'm most proud of, to have any association whatsoever, even if I'm just barnacling onto it. They are a great cause. Let's look at Instamatic, who was bet off the board last time. You're kind of against this guy, and
I'm just going against this race in general.
okay,
Put it that way.
That's fair. I'm going to give him another chance. He just got bet too heavily.
Yeah.
He got completely
Well,
and
the
totally
biggest
left.
reason I think that he got bet so much is because he'd been working in company with Dornock, who's the full brother to Mage.
I've heard that.
Who Danny Gargan had kind of touted as one of the best horses.
Guys, I
that
know we're
he'd
gonna
ever
watch
trained. And
Oh, just to start. Okay, sorry.
more of that race to show.
No, they were
Okay,
right. I
okay.
was wrong. Sorry. Apologize.
He was working in company with Dornock, who took a lot of attention, looks absolutely nothing like Mage, and he ran second on debut. And Instamatic, that was on the turf as well. It didn't look 100% fit in that race, and I think in large part he took all of that money because of the company he was keeping in the mornings.
I thought
But
he
we'll see.
ran. I thought he made up
He did.
some
He
real
ran
ground
on.
there. I
Absolutely.
thought he ran on
Absolutely.
fine in there, and I'm going to take him. I have this first-time star that you have second. Is there a Clavinet story?
So Clavinet was
Acacia
named.
Clement.
No. Clavinet was named by one of the Adelphi partners, and a Clavinet.
Not you?
No, not named by me. I've Sarah Bottom actually at the Fasig-Tipton sale in the fall in October by Disco Partner, and he's of Disco Partner's first crop, obviously, which is exciting. Strong female family as well, from the Generazio bred. And a clavinet is a type of instrument. It's a version of a piano, so to speak, and it's has a lot of influence on disco and funk, and actually
Really?
Stevie Wonder song playing on the clavinet as well. And so being by Disco Partner,
I love
his
that.
clavinet.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a very educational
go.
show here. Acacia is
Yes.
always full of educational tidbits. It's a half to five. He's a half to five turf winners out of 7 days from the dam, and I agree. And I love Dixo Partner as well, and I'm going to use him as well. You have the 2-second, who I have third. Score the Rock, who I thought the workout was okay. 10 and a fifth workout. Did you have any thoughts on that work?
I thought thought that he had to be asked a bit early, but he actually finished
Yep.
pretty well, which I liked about it. And to go 10-1 for about the price point that he was in for a Cantharos, that's pretty solid of what you would expect at the OBS sale. The dam was great at stakes play. She won on turf and dirt, and certainly loved the Cantharos sprinting on the turf. Just thought it could be a good spot for him to start.
Yeah, I agree. Who's riding?
Kendrick Carmouche.
Oh, Kendrick is?
Yes.
We, of course, wish our friend
Yes,
Luis Saez
absolutely.
a speedy recovery. I saw Rodney Payne, his valet, tweeting him getting out of the hospital, and
Yeah.
he's in good spirits, and we hope he's
Really
back
good.
soon.
Yeah. Sorry to miss him this weekend,
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely sorry to miss him, period. He's
Yeah.
a terrific jockey and, more importantly, a terrific guy as
Mm-hmm.
well. We'll see what happens in race number 2. Race number 3, it's hard looking at race number 3 to take a big stand against Kuramata and Eastern here. They just really do seem like the best 2 horses. I think we both agree, though, the way the race was run, Easter may have run the better race, even though he lost by 2.5 lengths to Kuramata. The one thing I will say about Kuramata is he was closer to the pace than maybe he's most comfortable with. So he's sort of lost a horse, a very good horse, Jerry the Nipper, but Easter was so wide in here and trying to close to a race that had no pace.
He just couldn't reach the top 2. He was last. And I thought that he wasn't totally settled and relaxed early, which had been something that had been a little bit tough for him in the past. And I remember really liking him in that race 2 back at Belmont, because hoping that he was going to get a little bit more of a relaxed trip. And that's not what he got last time. And I do think that he ran the best race in there over Kuramata. I think that they're the main contenders coming out of that effort. That was also, for Kuramata, the first race off of a layoff as well. And so there's absolutely reason to assume that he could take a step forward today, too.
But Chad Brown's a trainer that has his horses ready
Yes,
for these
absolutely.
races off layoffs. So while he
Absolutely.
may naturally improve, Chad has them ready to go. So I'm not sure how much he will. And
He is
I'm an Easter fan.
I am an Easter fan as well, both of the holiday and the horse. But Kuramata's, he's a big, solid type of horse, too. So that was my thinking in the
Yeah,
layoff.
and he'll have more forward position
Mm-hmm.
than Easter. I can't make anybody else. Main event can be forward in here
Yeah.
along with safe conduct, and I think he's run fine. But both of them, they're going to all have to step up to beat both of these horses.
agree.
Race number 4 at a flat mile. Classic Mark, who will show his last race in the slop, he is completely and totally loose in this race, and I'm not against him. I will show you a stat, though, for Linda Rice that is not overly appealing as far as second off the claim, off a win on the dirt. And he also caught a sloppy track last time, but he's the controlling speed here, and I don't want to take a big stand against him.
No, that's fair. He's definitely the one to beat. Claim for 30,000, two back, got the win against Starter Allowance Company, so dropping in for 25,000. While maybe it's not as many wins as the beginning, obviously Lindisfarne is still going well throughout this summer, which has been incredible. Just had a winner yesterday off the layoff as well. So she's really spotting the horses right, which I think is a big piece of it as well. An interesting stat, though, with that ROI.
Yeah, I thought this was sort of interesting for Linda, and she's a very stat-centric trainer, and that there's things she does really well and things she doesn't do as well. It doesn't mean this horse can't win. It's a horse to beat, but just some food for thought. You've gone to Anthracite coming up for Joe Orsino.
Yeah, going to keep Sammy Camacho aboard, who rode him to victory at Monmouth two back. I thought watching that race, and it's interesting that they went back on the turf last time, because I thought watching the race last time, he was really game two back to get the victory and was pressing the pace. He doesn't need to be too far back. He has the ability to be forward as needed. So I thought that he could be kind of right off of Classic Mark. He was just a new face, going to be a little bit of a price, I hope, coming in from Monmouth. And I just thought could potentially get a right trip as an alternative.
He does feel like he can be at least a little bit forward here. We'll see. I preferred others. I went to Complete Agenda in this race, just feeling like Complete Agenda was in an absolutely ridiculous spot last time. He had no chance in. And if he could run back to his race two back, I thought he'd be
Yeah.
tough to beat. So I took him as the alternative in this race. Is he really going to be favored over Classic Mark?
I think the way Lindisfarne is going, Classic Mark might be.
That's what I thought. Is this a rider thing?
Well,
David's
it's a
usually
big
right.
drop in class for
Yes, it
Complete
is.
Agenda.
It
It's a
is.
big drop in class, yeah. But I thought his race two back was strong, especially as he didn't have the best of breaks that day either.
Is Big Bobby going to show up and run? I will show his race from back in September.
What
But,
happened to
man,
him?
I mean, he was eased
Yeah.
last time out.
Tough to trust off of that.
It's very hard to trust on the drop down. Bill Mott, he's 5 for 22, first time for a tag on the dirt with non-maidens. And second off of a 6 to 12 month layoff, he's just he's 2 for 4 actually. So, I mean, it's a small sample size. I am a little scared of him because
He's not the most consistent horse.
No.
That's the thing. He's a bit of, I've written down in my notes, he's a bicycle horse. You know, he's one of those horses that you have to keep after him to kind of keep him running and keep him going. And last time was Ease, that was off the layoff. But even he had that good race 2 starts back, and that was off of being beaten 25 lengths prior to that. He's just not the most consistent. I think he's
no, he's a little tough to trust, but he is a drop down in
Yep.
here, and I thought he was worth at least a mention. Race number 5. We'll take a break after race number 5. I see you're going to try to beat Lady Arwen in here. I wanted to show her entire race. I know she was
eventful.
bet first time, but she ran super in her first race, and if she can break today and run back to this race, I don't see how she's going to lose this race.
Well, I remember Maggie commenting in the paddock that she was just really green. She was very keyed before the race, and that showed in the way that she ran, because especially at the break, she was off slow, just lacking focus, and then she kind of rushed up outside, finished on the left lead. As far as checking out the clocker report, she's been doing that in the morning still,
I feel like
which I don't
you
love.
pointed this out on Talking Horses that day.
Yeah,
I
she
think.
had done that in the 2-year-old Sales Breeze as
Yeah.
well. She was lugging in. And so it's a habit that she has. So that's one thing that's a bit of a concern. But I thought all the things considered, you like to see that they show something after a poor break versus a 2-year-old that just goes out to the front and doesn't face any pressure or adversity at all.
She certainly showed something. I mean, this horse ran hard the entire way to get into contention and looked for a moment like she might actually win. But you can't make that kind of long, sustained run after getting badly left and losing all position and still be expected to finish. But even from a position here in 5th, she's going to get right up to the leaders before faltering the very late stages. And it's 7 furlongs today. And listen, you're right. I mean, it is a continuing problem. They're getting left. She can't keep getting left and win these races. And I imagine that's the reason you've decided to take a shot against her.
And you see Caldwell Loves Gold, who was the winner, coming with the best late momentum, finishing there. And right there, when you see Lady Arwen switching back to the left lead, and she's tired at that point. I think that's from fatigue, and you can understand given that big late run that she made, and she absolutely could take a step forward. She's the horse to beat, I think. I took a little shot with the 4 Awesome Check, second time out for Horacio De Paz. I think we're going to see more fitness from this one. Broke fine, was kind of chasing. I thought a little bit green in the stretch in that race as well to finish 4th, and could take a step forward. And while Horacio has only had 1 winner at the meet, I think especially at the 2-year-olds, he's had quite a few seconds in horses that have run well first time out.
And this horse was wide against a good rail last time out, so this horse has an excuse in that regard as well. I put him second. I didn't. The other thing is, I mean, you never know with first-time starters, but it's not exactly the most sexy group of firsters in this race.
I used the 2 Bona Salute, who worked 11 flat at the Timonium 2-year-old sale in May at Phasig, and had to be asked pretty hard to do that. But hoping that this one, back-to-back gate workouts, I just preferred this one over the Rudy Rodriguez horse who had experience.
I think you're lying. I think you only used it because you wanted to say bonus salute.
I like to impress you with
It really did. I was excited to get the right pronunciation. Frank, are you listening? That's the first 5. We'll be back with the late pick 5 after a quick break.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Keisha Clement and Andy Serling. We picked the same horse in this race, and you're a
the
traitor.
same superfecta.
You're a traitor, though, picking against your boy Senbei. You
I
really.
know.
I hope he isn't watching the show. Take a look last time. Keisha had told me before she was away when this horse ran that he had worked very well on the turf. And I know it was a slowish pace, but the horse who beat him, Bring Me a Check, came back and ran extremely well to win. A winner runs
He ran
second,
3rd by a
third.
head, and
Right.
then he finished 3rd yesterday in a really tough race off the claim as well.
Yeah, he's been in great form. And I guess the question with Senbei is is he a completely different horse on the turf? Because he's going to have to rate here.
Yes, that's my one big concern. And it's funny because I thought he ran a huge effort this day. It was a career best buyer speed figure for him. Both him and Bring Me a Check got a 94. Just missed. Bring Me a Check able to get his nose down first on the outside. And as mentioned, that horse has gone on to back up those performances that we've seen from him on the turf. And Senbei, I think, I was talking about it with my husband the other day when he was schooling over here, because if you remember him as a 2-year-old at the beginning, he was really vocal, he was really distracted in the paddock, and he settled a lot mentally. And Miguel said, I think gelding him was one of the best decisions made. And then switching to the turf, he has turned things around. And so maybe mentally, if he's more relaxed now, he will be able to rate.
Well,
that's the hope, but we'll have to find out today.
Also, I mean, it's possible that one of the problems, and I'm not a big kickback guy, but maybe he resents kind of kickback, and it's different on the turf. So maybe he's just a different horse on the turf, and he's obviously very dangerous, as is Oxymore. And I would have picked Oxymore in this race if he wasn't an entry with Artemis City Limits, because I don't like Artemis City Limits at all. I think his form's completely left him, and I'm not saying he'd be a huge price, but you're going to lose a point, I would say, because of the entry. And this is his win last year in the Skidmore, but I think for people that I talk a lot about how you have to be very careful with 2-year-old turf figs, because these horses routinely improve 15 or more points from their 2-year-old turf figs to their 3-year-old season. And if you start looking up the horses that come out of this race that he ran in, I mean, one after the other, plus 10, plus 22, plus 28, plus 15. It's just one horse after another that ran that race, came back and has run significantly better as a 3-year-old. Turf horse is just a different animal with the figs as 2-year-olds. So I know you look at him and go, oh, you're in a 73 and a 79. I can compete here. I'm not going to be surprised when the 79 turns into a 95.
Yes. No, that's absolutely fair. And also, I mean, you even look at who he ran in the Now as a 2-year-old behind Webslinger, who's turned out to be a very good 3-year-old as well. I think Oxymore's much more of a sprinter, so I like they're coming back in the sprint. Unfortunately, he found himself in a really salty field to come back for his first start as a 3-year-old, but he's obviously got a lot of ability.
And his stablemate is stake-faced, and he has Rod Ortiz riding him, so it's just destined to be an underlay. I went to Fauci, as did you, but why did you take Fauci?
I thought he ran the best race last time, and off of a layoff, too. And typically with Phil Antonacci, they need to start. But I thought that he has done really well with the horses that he's brought here to Saratoga. They've been ready to run. He's had a couple nice winners and a couple good horses that finished in the money. And while Into the Sunrise wired the field that day, Fauci was last early and just couldn't reach the winner, but I thought really ran a really good race.
I agree, and I also like the rider switch to Flavien Prat. The problem with him is he doesn't win.
I know.
And I was just sort of hoping he'd be a square enough price in this race.
I thought I was trying to be a little clever with them.
Yeah,
Obviously we had the same thoughts.
I don't want to take the entry to short price. I don't trust Sunbay, and we tried to get the money with him last time. And I really wasn't overly thrilled with anybody else in this race, to be honest with you. I just don't know if Fluid Situation is really quite good enough. Sue Summer, I'm not a big fan of. He ran well last time, but he got the right trip to get it done. So,
and was a surprise to see him get the win that day, too.
Yes, I was, too. I wasn't surprised the second horse ran well, but I did not like him at all that day. We'll see what happens, and we'll see if Fauci can get up today. We'll see. It's an interesting race, though. I don't take the 2 and 6 lightly, and I don't think you do either. Race number 7. Let's take a look at the Buston Bay Mia Be a Star opening race of the Saratoga meet. And maybe I'm just being moto with Buston Bay, but I thought he was the best. She was the best horse in here, and I'm not trying to beat her, though I know you like Sweet Mystery, who obviously is the other horse.
Yes, I'm going to take a little bit of a shot. Buston Bay has been in great form. You have to give her credit because I had a little bit of a question going into that race. Could she handle the 9 furlongs? And she certainly did, and she stacked up favorably against her competition that day. She's run really well. I think a mile is even better for her coming back off of that victory. I'm going to take a little shot with Sweet Mystery, though she really hung last time. But getting
the other horse that, we'll show the race.
Exactly, yes. So Buston Bay is in good form. As far as Sweet Mystery is concerned, Amanda's Folly was a Linda Rice horse in that race as well. So poor Sweet Mystery faces another Linda Rice horse. And that was the favorite, Amanda's Folly, who is also stretching out, trying to get the distance, was able to do so given her aggressive tactics. Trevor McCarthy tried with this horse. But I just thought last time, Sweet Mystery had shown me from a physical perspective what I'd kind of been waiting to see from her. I thought that she looked the best she has all year. And so maybe going back to what could be a better distance will help her today.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to be shocked if she gets it done in this race. I just don't trust her to win. She hasn't
Yes,
won a race in
I
a
agree.
while. She's got 8 seconds and thirds and just the 2 wins. So that worries me a little bit. I can make an excuse for her last race. She got wired and was a bit out of her game, and at least she showed up after her horrible performance, the heavy favorite 2 back.
Yeah.
I just didn't quite trust her, and that's why I put her
That's
third.
fair.
And I always feel like Mia Be a Star frequently has a good race in her as well. Race number 8, we'll take a look at Maraviglioso and Vitami. I think there's a real argument that Vitami was down in a rail that you may not want to be on last time, and so even though she finished well behind Mara Verasiglia, whatever, I just kind of thought maybe she had the right trip on the outside today to get it done.
No, that's fair. I actually, it's funny. I remember her towards the beginning of her career down, I believe it was Ruben Garcia that had her at the beginning of her career for Temi. Now she's with David Jacobson. It's her second start with the barn. The barn's going well right now. She's absolutely a horse that I think could step forward and in that race with Maravilloso as well. I think that they're both big players.
Couldn't she be the speed in here too?
Yeah, she absolutely could. I took a little shot with the one timed out.
We'll show her race from Finger Lakes last time.
From Finger Lakes last time behind Gone and Forgotten, who did come back, not the quickest of stakes, but did come back to win a stake in her subsequent start with a 65 Buyer speed figure. And while this is a horse that has speed, she didn't break that sharply last time and had to kind of rush up. And I think it's interesting seeing Javier Castellano take the call with her here.
You know, well, she's running competitive figs.
She is.
It's interesting. She was actually entered and with Ralph D'Alessandro listed as the trainer and was scratched a week ago. Now I see
interesting.
Jimmy Ferraro's listed.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was a situation with Ralph not, maybe he couldn't have horses run.
I don't
I don't know. He
know.
runs horses at Ackworth, the winner,
Yeah,
so I don't see
yeah.
why not.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not going to be shocked if this horse runs well in here. I kind of preferred others. Mitch, we're doing a show here. I know this is TV. You worked in TV once. Be quiet. I mean, seriously, you trying to create more enemies, Mitch? Mitch Levitas, our director. Does anybody like Mitch?
I like Mitch.
Really? I don't believe you. I just like everybody. What about Tuati on the drop down?
It's just a class drop. I do not trust this horse at all, but she has been running against a bit tougher, and it's an aggressive class drop, but I think they're just finally being realistic and saying she doesn't want to run at that
I
level.
agree. She also is another horse doesn't win.
Yeah.
And it's Irad Ortiz on a horse
She's
that doesn't
gonna be a
win.
shorter
That's why
price
she's
than
a
she
short
should
price.
be.
So
Yeah.
I can't pick her on top. I just heard from Kieran McLaughlin, by the way, who's Louis Saez's agent, and he said he's going to have a procedure tomorrow to relocate his collarbone, and they expect to be out 3 to 5 weeks. He's doing well, a little time to heal, but that's good to hear.
It is
And I
good
guess
to
for
hear.
Luis, that means he can be back in time for Keeneland, hopefully before
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
look
We're
forward
thinking the
to that.
best for Luis. Hope everything goes well, and we see him back soon.
Yeah, he's a good
Yeah.
man. And
Thanks-
Kieran,
thank-
thank you for that
thanks to Kieran
information.
for the update.
And we are all
Yeah.
thinking about Luis and hoping he gets back soon. The Mohegan Sun Ballston Spa. Did you ever eat next door in Ballston Spa?
Yes, great spot.
Excellent
Yeah.
restaurant.
There's also, Miguel and I like to go there, and there's also a little tea place.
Oh,
in
the
Boston.
Whistling Teapot.
Yeah,
I love the
that
Whistling
place
Tea
is
Kettle.
great.
It's a teapot or tea.
Whistling Kettle,
My-
I think it is.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
mom
that
and I
place
go
is
there. I
great.
love that place.
Yeah.
My mom and I like to have lunch there, actually. Yeah, that place is
Yeah.
great. It's right across the street, a little bit farther down.
We always
but it's-
go to next door kitchen like after the meet when it's cold out and it's really cozy in
Yeah,
there.
we had
Big
my
fan.
mom's 90th birthday there, actually.
Ah, I
It was
love
very
that.
nice. Yes. No, it's a
Very
nice
nice.
spot. If you haven't been, it's a good place. So anyway, speaking of Ballston Spa, I believe that's where they filmed a lot of The Way We Were.
Oh, that's
A
right.
little before your time.
Yes, but
not
I
mine.
remember my dad telling me about that
Yeah,
actually.
I remember when that took place. Anyway, we'll take a look at technical analysis and Fluffy Socks running 1-2 in this race last year. And it's a pretty potent entry from Klarovich, not only obviously with talented horses, but they have the main speed and they may have what we think is the best closer, though Fluffy Socks is no slouch, and I do take her seriously. Technical is the most accomplished and best horse. She's always run well up in Saratoga. I'm going to try to beat her in this race, but I don't take her lightly.
I think it's interesting looking at that De La Rose last time out because Evie Jets was in there too. And the way Evie Jets got the win in the Perfect Sting 2-back was she was aggressive and on the front end where Jose Ortiz did not send technical analysis as much. And then you saw the intent right out of the gate last time that he went right out to the front with technical analysis and using her speed, which was obviously the right decision. And she was able to comfortably get the win like that.
Who is going to ride Evie Jets today? I did not write it down.
It was TBA when I last saw.
Okay,
So I'm
it'll
not
be interesting
sure.
to see what
Yes,
happens
I'm
with
not
her. But I
sure.
agree. I think she'll go a little more. I'm not sure how much it matters, to be honest. Technical has shown the ability to rate, so I'm not
Yeah.
that worried. I don't take Fluffy Socks lightly. But we have both picked Consumer Credit, who beat surprisingly at the wire with Gam's Mission third last time. Why do you like Consumer Credit here? Or spending, excuse me.
Consumer spending, I think, has taken a step forward. In the Bogey, she was wired by her stablemate Market Segmentation, and she was off of a bit of a layoff then, and then she went over to Monmouth and put back-to-back graded stakes wins together. She was able to run down surprisingly, really, I thought, easily last time out, and surprisingly kind of made that first move, and she just powered by her. I actually really tried to make a case for Gam's Mission in here because she doesn't run frequently. It's just, I wish that I'd seen a little
I
bit
agree.
more from her. You know, she is a horse that can close and has talent. I just don't know if I can trust her to run down this caliber of horse.
I agree. I think that quietly consumer spending, and I know they're lower figs, and she looks like she's running in lesser races, but she's been able to overcome slow paces and make those runs into slower paces. And I think her wins are a lot more impressive than they look. Listen, I'm not taking surprisingly lightly, but she beats her every single time, and I'm not convinced that she's going to be as short as 3-1 in here. I wonder if they're going to bet more on Fluffy Socks, who almost won this race last year, and I'm wondering if we'll get a slightly better price consumer spending.
That could be. That could be. Do you think technical analysis will take more attention?
I think
because
consumer
she's-
tackle has to be 6-5 or even
Yeah.
money in here. I don't see her being close to 2-1. I could be wrong. I don't see that happening. Irad's riding Fluffy Socks. I'm not sold on that. I think we get a more square price consumer spending horse. So I think maybe having a better year and running
I think
better than it looks.
she's trending in the right direction.
Then there's Jumbly, who's coming in for Joseph O'Brien. I've picked her fourth in here. We'll take a look at her race 2 back in the Luades, is it Luades? Stud Stakes. I'm going to tell you something. She's got a lot of hang in her.
You know, it's funny, if you watch the Duke of Cambridge at Royal Ascot
I
last
did.
time, too, you can see the same thing. She actually hit the front on the inside, and then she just kind of waited on
Yep.
horses.
Yep.
And
Lost
it,
a horse she passed. in
Yes,
fact.
and it looks like that's just a bit of a habit of hers. I don't know, is it that she wants less distance? Is she just a horse that doesn't have that last little punch? I certainly give them credit for coming over here. Of course, Joseph O'Brien won the Saratoga Derby with State of Rest with John Velasquez aboard. And not to say that she didn't face some nice horses last time. She certainly did. It just
They're
felt
okay.
like she'd made the move that should have
Did you
sealed
see how
the
much
deal.
they paid for her?
Yeah, I did.
They paid
Yeah.
1.25 million
Yeah.
guineas at the
Yeah.
end of last year for her in
Yeah.
November at
Well,
the
she
sale.
has a lovely pedigree, too.
I'm sure she
Yeah.
does. She's, listen,
The
yeah,
dam was
I
a
mean, I'm
multiple
sure.
graded stakes
I'm
winner,
sure a lot
yeah.
of it is
Yes.
in her residual
Yeah.
value as a broodmare. I just don't love the way she finishes those races. Speak of the Devils, a horse you know has it in her to run a huge race because that Distaff Turf Mile last year was good, but she just never refound that form.
No, and she got pretty headstrong on Flavian Pratt last time, too. She was a little bit tough to handle after she broke poorly, and then she just never ran on after that.
Yeah, they paid a lot of money for her out of that the end of the year where she was behind Space Blues and the Prix de la Forêt. Of course, Space Blues won that year's Breeders' Cup Mile. Race number 10. I want to show a race, the 2 horse coming out at Pimlico, even though Too Far East West ran here last time, who I like. And I worry a little bit that Wayhill Road could maybe wire the field from down the inside, and I think that makes him potentially dangerous in here. But I really like the cutback in distance for Too Far East as West. I thought he ran very, very well last time out, where he was 4 wide in the first turn, 3 wide on the last turn, 2 wide in the second turn, made that middle move, sort of flattened out in a 1 3/8 race. Do you know who's riding him today?
That'll be John Velasquez
Okay.
on Too Far East.
I thought this horse ran very well, and I don't worry that much about the 9 post because this race basically starts at the top of the stretch,
Yeah.
so should be able to get position. I'm a fan of this horse. I like his form. I think he's going to be very tough to beat in this race.
I think he's a big player, too. And I think that's a pretty salty race that he comes out of as well.
I
And
agree.
Faraday kind of made that game move at the end to get the win. It was that big pedigree for Chad Brown. I took a little shot here with the 8, Dr. Kringle. I know that he ran for Maiden Claiming 75 last time out, but this was a horse that I had just written. Wish I could see him back long on turf. So I get my wish today. Going to take a shot with this one. I thought his Keeneland race, the last time he was on the turf, which was back in April, he was wide, kind of had a weird trip out in no man's land that day and got a little bit keen. I thought that he was one who could potentially step forward getting back on what I think is the right surface.
All right. Okay. I had him 4th in this race. I think Sacred Rhyme is a dangerous horse.
Yep, out of
Now,
that same race,
I
Faraday
know that
race.
Irad chooses to ride for Todd Pletcher, and he rides a lot for Todd, so I don't know if he made a choice or he's committed already. It felt to me like this horse, I know he saved ground the whole way last time before angling out late, so that was his credit. But he's coming off a bit of a layoff at a 1 3/8, and I felt like he did a little more running than the running line suggests. I think that horse is dangerous.
I think it's interesting with the blinkers on, too, to break a little bit better. He kind of steadied back at the start. You could see Irad Ortiz was kind of really low in the saddle, trying to get him balanced out at the gate last time, too.
All right, Keisha, it's been a pleasure, as it always is.
As always.
You'll be back next Thursday, and then you'll be there opening day at Belmont at the Big A.
That's right. That's right. One more up here.
We still have plenty of good racing left here. 10 racing days left. 25% of the meet still to come. Some very, very good racing coming up this weekend as well. And the best way to play it and to play all the races is through NYRA Bets. Head over to NYRABets.com and use the promo code SPA200 and we'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. We have the middle pick 4, 2, 4, and 7 with today's pick 4s. We have the $7,500 hit and split. Last try here. First try at Del Mar. You've got to opt in, and you will share in the splits in those races. $7,500. It's a lot of money to be given away.
Yeah.
We have the low rollers contest. If you can stand Jay, you'll like Ray. Jay and Ray. It's the
They're
Jay and Ray
famous
show.
now.
The famous
They
Jay
should
and Ray.
have a spin-off show of their own.
Well, if you don't know Jay, he looks like Silent Bob. If you don't know Silent Bob, I don't know what movies you've been seeing in your life. When there was a summer here when I think there was a nightly showing of Clerks at Steve Christ and his wife Robin Foster's house in Saratoga, going way back in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
We have rich and full lives. $40 buy-in, $30 bankroll, $10 prize pool as well outside the Miller Time 4-star Dave Barr. Saturday contest till 5 o'clock tomorrow to sign up for this. $300 buy-in. Play it through NYRA Bets. The $40 feeder is tomorrow. You have until 5 o'clock today to sign up. Get all the information on both at NYRA.com/contests. We have the 2-day pick 6, all 6 grade 1s, 1 tomorrow, 5 on Saturday. NYRA.com for details. You guys forgot the taste of New York.
Oh, no.
You should be ashamed of yourself. You don't sound like you are.
There
it is, Taste New York Pavilion, Thursday through Sunday.
You know, I'm on the late show. Maybe I should go over to the Taste New York Pavilion.
You always
on my
get drunk
break.
before the late show when you're on it. Haven't you figured that out by now? We've also on from 1 to 6:30 on FS2, all the action on Saratoga Live. Acacia, pleasure as always.
As always.
Have a great day. You
Thank
guys
you.
have a great day. Frank Miramati's just getting revved up. He'll be up in about 20 minutes for the reprise of Scratch and Changes.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.